Good afternoon. Now this is a movie review, and today I am reviewing American Pastoral, starring Ewan McGregor, Jennifer Connelly, and Dakota Fanning, and directed by Mr. McGregor himself. Now, American Pastoral is a story. It's based on a novel, and I didn't read the novel because some movies based on novels, I like to walk in with an open mind. So, first off, it starts where you have David Strathairn from the TV series Alphas, where he's attending a high school reunion, and there he meets a fellow who happens to be a character who happens to be the younger brother of Ewan McGregor's character. So he's like talking with the brother, and they start talking about Swede, which is Ewan McGregor's character, Swede Lavolve. Well, Seymour Swede Lavolve, Swede being the nickname, and they talk about that he was a Marine. He was an all-American, like he was like an all-American kid. He was a great member of the basketball team and the football team, and then he grows up, joins the Marines, fights the World War II, comes home and is married to Jennifer Connelly, who's this beauty queen, and they have a daughter with a terrible stutter, and the daughter grows up to be played by Dakota Fanning. And Dakota Fanning, it's the 60s, it's during the height of the Vietnam War and radicalism in America, and the counterculture movement. And she gets involved, being young, impressionable, 16 years old. She gets involved with these radicals who are basically, they're not anti-war, they're just a bunch of anarchistic punks. And one thing leads to another, and she bombs a post office and kills a friend of the family. And it takes about like 4 or 5 years where they search for her. Times go by, where one thing I liked where how they said that time was going by with certain events, like when they bombed the Capitol. It's like 3 years went by. So it's 1968 when the post office got bombed. It's when they bombed the Capitol in American history. That's March 1st, 1971. So times are going, and they talk about Watergate. So another 2 years go by, and so that's 1973. So I kind of like how they worked that in the movie without going like boring for boring, like, oh, it's 1968, then 1969, then 1970, and so on and so on. I like how they did that. And so he finally does find Dakota Fanning, and she's like this. She's not with the radicals anymore. She's some homeless person. Well, let's face it. In today's time, she's a homeless person who's she's a homeless person. She walks around with this mask, and she's converted to some Indian sect. And when they take off her mask, it turns out Ewan McGregor opens her mouth, turns out her teeth's rotten. And more shockingly, he finds out that she was raped. And oh yeah, after the bombing, spoiler alert, the family therapist knew about what happened and sent her away back to the scumbag underground people that influenced her to bomb the post office. And she went to, and yeah, Dakota Fanning, they don't show it, but with Dakota's character saying it in a narrative, saying like, oh yeah, my first night in Chicago, I was raped, and I was held captive, and I was raped. And which of course sends Ewan McGregor, makes him really angry. Of course of course that's natural for any father. You hear about from your daughter she was raped. That would send any father over the edge. And then in the meantime, Jennifer Connelly's character, okay, it's like don't get me wrong, it's like you don't Jennifer Connelly is a great actress. She's an Oscar winner, but her character is like it's like she just breaks down. She just has a mental breakdown, and is just not the same person anymore herself either. And then she gets a facelift and becomes this really vain person. It's like to the point where you just don't there's a point where you just don't give a shit or feel for her character anymore. I'm like, well, then again, I guess that's the way the movie is, the script was written, where after a point you just don't give a shit about Jennifer Connelly's character anymore. But Ewan McGregor was great in his role. Jennifer Connelly was still great in her role, even though in the end you don't give a shit about her character. And Dakota Fanning was great in her role too. Even, I gotta say, even Peter Riegert, and I'm not at all a Peter Riegert fan. I mean, okay, is Peter in this movie? It is Peter Riegert being his usual, hard nose, hard guy typecast. But okay, it's where for this movie, his typecast, his usual typecasting was tolerable. And okay, I did, like I said, and as you know, those of you who watched my fall 2016 preview, American Pastoral was on my list, and I saw it right here at the Edwards Westport 8 in Irvine. That's where I just left from. And okay, yeah, this is the same theater where I saw Cafe Society first saw Cafe Society back in July. And oh yeah, I actually saw it in the same auditorium. What do you know? And I know it's been a while it's been over a week since Jack Reacher will be out. Who knows? Maybe on Halloween we get a review of Jack Reacher in. So that's my review, and you have a good one.